Welcome to a Saturday night. Couldn't sleep. I actually went to bed a little too early. So I thought I would show off what I built today, which is this guy here. So I already had a Macropad. I had all my carry keys on it. And just a sec. I'm gonna right click, projected window preview. There we go. Now I can actually see what I'm looking at without angling my head into a kink. But I didn't want to screw that one up. So I had bought the kits and I assembled this one with the keys. And I made this my OBS scene changer. Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3, Scene 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Begin recording, end recording, pause recording. And if you hit this one again, it unpauses. There's a little trick in OBS I'll show you. Now, how did I do that? Well, I have another one here. I do have buttons, so let me go find the kit for this. Here it is. So I have the spare button set. This and this for this. So we'll assemble another one. Now somewhere I have, is it in here? No. Where did I put that other thing? I had an extra set. No. Oh, just a sec. Way back here. Bags, cards. I put it in here. I thought I might have. Nope. I have another plate. I wish I knew what I did with it. Batteries, bags, boards. Where did I put it? It's not in here, I don't think. No. Nope. I know I have it somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. Well, we'll have to do without. So we need this. I have another one of, not this one. This board right here. It's a key stabilizer board. But I guess we won't end up using it because I don't know where it is. Don't know where I did with it. Nope, not in there. I put it aside so I wouldn't lose track of it, and I did a really good job of that. I lost track of it. But anyway, so let's stick these keys on. The key to this is make sure you get those two little copper legs inside the connector. If you don't, you'll bend the leg. So there are two little copper things right there, and in here there's two plug holes for it. So here we go. let's do another one. There we go. And they come out. Like, I mean, you can unplug them again and change the keys. Whoops, see what I mean by bending? I bent that one a little bit. There we go. Just be patient. You'll get them all in. I don't think they have a pre-assembled version of this, so no matter which type of kit you get, you're going to end up doing it. And these keys are pin for pin compatible with any cherry key. These are Kylex keys, I think, is what they refer to them as. Yes, William, throw the key on the floor. That's the way to work it. It's another one. 2 more to go. There we go. 1 more to go. Okay. There we go. Oh, didn't quite get it in the hole. There. So there we go. There's the keys. We'll do the peel. There we go. That goes off. And then we need this. These are our key tops. The moment I'll use these ones. So they just go on like so. Yes, William. There we go. Whoops. Does that look right? Yeah, okay. This is where that keyboard stabilization plate would help. You wouldn't end up inadvertently tilting the key. Come on. There we go. So as soon as I find it, I'll pluck these all off and later put it on. I know I have it somewhere around here. I just don't know where it is. There you go. Okay. Now if we put our cable on, it should default to the built-in Adafruit macro. Turn the encoder, turns the number. Hit a button. Key 1, key 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All keys at once. There you go. First thing we have to do with this thing, though, is if we look at our desktop here, and let me move this out of the screen here for a sec, and we look at this. No, not this. Where is it? This. Notice there's no CircuitPython folder. So this is being pre-programmed at the factory, but it doesn't actually contain a CircuitPython that's ready to go. So in this folder, we happen to have the UF2 file. So first we need to put this into a mode where we can dump the file on. The way you do it on a Macropad is hold down the encoder button, like so. And then on the side over here, whoops, let me switch. There. Hold the encoder down. And on the side here, press the reset. And you're waiting for the RPI drive to show up. Come on. There. Like so. So if you look at the desktop, and now we look at the File Explorer, there it is, RPI. So we mount this drive, and then we go into Work, and actually this guy here, back in the Macropad in the search, we'll go here. So we want this file, copy, and we want paste. If I find another UF2 file already in here, I erase it first. Paste one file. So it's going to copy that file in. You can't see behind my slant cam there, but there it is. So it disappears, reboots, and there's the CircuitPy directory. So we'll mount it. So now we have the thing ready to go in CircuitPy mode. Okay. Now, next thing we need to do is we need code. Now, one of the things I usually do, and I'm just going to minimize and minimize here. In here, I want to get this prepared for code. So I go to Mr. Code here to the Explorer, and I decide I want to open a folder. CircuitPython folder. Okay. Yes, I know the JSON files and you can't, so don't save. Okay, so ready to go. It does a check on the bundle, which is fine. Creates the settings JSON file. As you can see, 115 stubs, blah, blah, it's all fine. Now what we want to do before we do anything is create the workspace file. So, file, save workspace as, and upstairs here I will call this Macropad RP 2040 2, because this is number 2. This one here is number 1 at the moment. So we save the file here, not in VS Code, in CircuitPy. Save. There we go. So now we have this file being created. Okay. We want to choose a board. Macro. So now the board's in there. This sets up this file. So if we look in here now, we see this board, stubs, handle, board ID, everything's all set up. This is one thing that he's really cleaned up on. This is working really well now. I don't have to do much at all on this. So if we go back now, we don't need these 2 JSON files open. We're done with them. We look at code. Now we need some stuff onto the thing. We need our console back for a little bit. And we need our file explorer back for a little bit. So if you go to their website, and I'm going to do this right now for you. Let me just find it for you. No, we want the other example. Okay. Okay, so I'm using this tutorial, Macropad hotkeys. So what it does is it programs this to behave like a keyboard. So when you press a key, it sends a hotkey out. And in this case, I mapped this one to OBS. And we're going to do basically the same thing with this one. So if you look, we've already done most of the basic steps here. Put it together. This is the piece I don't have right here. It's this guy right there. I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it is. And I don't have a bottom plate with the 4 screws and the little stands. I have to go get some. And they supply the Cali Reds, I think. Yeah, something like that. And see, as you can see, they have also a whole style of different keycaps so you can get. So we go off to CircuitPython. I did this green thing. I downloaded the stuff. I put it on. There's the hold them button down and press the reset to get into the mode. You put it. I don't know what the safe mode is really about. I haven't worried about it. So project code. Now I downloaded the project bundle. Now I must warn you, you just cannot expand this thing into your Macropad because there's more than meets the eye in that zip file. This is that zip file right there. Sorry, one up. Yeah, Macropad hotkeys.zip. If you open it up, you end up with 6, 7, and the README. So we only want the 7. So I expanded the 7 out. The 7 contains these. So let's go grab our code file, copy. And in this case, I will delete this code file and paste this one in. Okay. Now we need the libraries. Now, there are two ways of doing this. You could just cut and paste this whole thing. But I am practicing the art of circup. So, this guy here. So, knowing the code I need to have, and I'm just going to move my file explorer to the other screen so I can look at the file names. You can see here, for example, we have update, uninstall, show list. If we do an update, first of all, -- all, it will find the drive, and it says everything's up to date. Now, the very first time you run this, if there's a new bundle, it will download the bundle and unpack it itself, wherever it stores it. Don't worry about that. Right? Next, we need some of those files that were listed in the file manager. So, those guys. So, I found that one of the ones you could do that catches most of them right away is circup install Adafruit _ Macropad. Macropad. That guy. It's almost a meta package. So it put the debouncer in, which I needed. It put display text in, which I needed. It put in HID, which I need. Macropad, MIDI, pixel buff, which it put in. Simple text display. What it didn't put in was display shapes. That's okay. Adafruit, display shapes. Okay. Now if we go back to our file explorer here, and we go to the CircuitPy, and we go to the lib directory, there you go, all installed. Now we need the macro directory. Now, where's my file explorer? Oops. William, dummy. So we've got the libs. Let's go take care of the macros. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it into the macro directory, into here. Paste one folder. Okay. Now, let's go to overhead for a sec. This has changed. So we now have Linux Firefox, Mac, Safari, Mac, blah, 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 blah. All those profiles that are in there. Doink, 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 doink. Right? Media. But in our case, we actually don't want any of that. We want a Pacific one, and I created this already. So, but before we do that, we have to backtrack a little bit because Windows deals with extra keys differently, to certain keystrokes differently than the Linux box does. It's not that their scan codes are different or anything like that. It's literally the OS and how it handles it. So, what we're after is literally, let's see if I have the screen open on this. Yeah, I do. What we have here is we want to, and I got this suggestion from Discord, is I was using in OBS, and I think I can show this off. And if I go over here, can I change to desktop? No. Module dialog box. Just one sec. Let's put it back on desktop for a sec. And then go to settings. And drag this over here. So this is the OBS hotkeys setup. Now, before, what I was doing for these keystrokes here and the scene selection was I was going, at first I was going Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3, Alt 4. Too bad. Those actually map out sometimes in some apps as real hotkeys. That's why my browser window was changing and stuff like that. Okay, fine. I changed that. I then went Control Shift 1, Shift 2, 2. Okay? Fine and dandy. The hotkeys worked from the keyboard. Okay? But I came to this, and what I did is I'm just going to go get oh, did I copy this out? I have to go get I have to hook up the other one for a sec because I need the code files out of here. I didn't back those up. So we're going to save our workspace like so, and we will go here and we'll safely remove like so. And we'll plug in the other one, this one. Okay. And we will mount it. And we will go into macros in here. And I want these two copy. And I will just put them here in the default demo thing, and I'll add them to the other one in a sec here. So this one here, CircuitPy, safely remove. Put the template one on, the empty one that we haven't done anything yet. Mount the CircuitPy directory. Go to these macros and find OBS 2 and OBS copy. And we go back to CircuitPy, we go to the macros directory, and we paste 2 items. Now, in this directory, I don't plan to do any of the others. I'm not Mac, so I'm going to just get rid of some of these things. We're going to get rid of Mac, Minecraft, WinAdobe, WinEdge. And we're going to just delete those out of there. So we're left with a lot shorter list of Macropad files. Okay. Now we can come back to Studio and say open a workspace. From CircuitPy, number 2, open. Okay, so the code now has this big blob of stuff. We don't have to do anything in here. Everything we care about is in the macros itself. So when I was first doing this thing and it wasn't working properly, this is what I was actually doing. So I was programming this. These represent the rows on the Macropad, like so. And these represent the key 1, key 2, key 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I was sending Control Shift 1. At first I had just the number 1 in there. Then I had key code .1. And no, it wasn't working quite right. At first with the 1 it wasn't working. And finally I got it to work. So this was technically the final coding of it, and it works. But then someone on Discord says, well, that's kind of a bit of wordy. Why don't you reduce that to function key 13 through 24? Oh, I thought that was cool. How do I get function key 13 in Linux? Then someone else in Discord said, well, program this in the Macropad as keycode.f13 and like this, and use it to program OBS. Oh, but when I did that, I got really weird keys in OBS. They didn't say F13, F14, F15. They are completely garbage. So I went to the OBS forums and they talked about this. And it turns out that Linux might not, your Linux, depending on the distro, might not actually have them available in X windows. So what you want to do, there's a tool here called X mode map. And this particular thing dumps all the codes that you currently have. So I didn't have this block right here. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is in your home directory, you make this file right there. And all this file is this. Tells us key codes, scan codes, yada yada yada, what the map is. And then what you have to do, you either have to relog into your desktop, or you do this, X mode map, and run that file. Now the tilde simply means the home tree. So I mean, you can go X mode map, and you can actually go home wilm.x mode map. That will work. Or you can actually go $home. That will work, because home will expand in the bash shell to /home/wilm. They're all equivalent to the same thing. So you rerun it, it reloads it, so that when you do this command, and you have a look, voila, you have all the function keys. Now you can test this, UEV. Is it, let's see, XEV. So this little program here can test keystrokes. So for example, I hit the number 1 key. You can see here, key 1 right there. I'm clicking the mouse, which registers also as a event. That's what that means, right? But you hit the Q key. Whoops. Run it again. You hit the Q key, 3 key, the E key, R key. You get the idea. It maps out. Well, what this does is it, for example, that key's mapped to that key's mapped to that. You can actually see all the keys coming off the Macropad. So once I had that, and I had the function keys coming through from the Macropad, if we go back up to here, and I scroll my little wheel on here till I find Media, Mouse, Noom, OBS Scenes 2. Now, if I hit the 1 key, main desktop, 2, code, 3, desktop, 4, console, 5. 5 is Raspberry Pi, you won't see it. 6, VMware player, 7, web searching. Right, 8 and 9, I don't have scenes attached to them yet, although I haven't mapped them out, but it's in the file. But there you go. Ta-da! And that's what and I have on the display, and it's kind of blurry. That's because of the, I don't have the autofocus on the top screen. But basically it says scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Right? Yeah, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. And the wheel right now is just changing between templates. So now it's tones. Now it's Firefox. Now it's media. Mouse. Numpad. OBS Scenes 2. And I programmed this one here to be strictly OBS Scenes. So it's strictly the scene switcher. But there you go. That's how you actually get the Macropad to have hotkeys sending in this case, to OBS. The other file here, I put a .1 after files like this when I don't want it to load as a PI file, but I still want it in the source tree. In theory, this one will work just as fine if OBS was programmed for it. Now, to get those function keys into OBS, since now the pad generates them, all I had to do was go to OBS's hotkeys section, put my cursor in the key I wanted, and hit the first key, scene 1, and then put F13 in there because it's generating keys. So I hope this helps someone out who's interested in this. This is a really cool item. There's even a stemma port on here. And these numbers here these numbers here control the color. I believe it's like red, green, blue. So if I was to go to OBS 2 here, and I think I changed this to 20. Yeah, I just changed the colors. I don't know. Let's put it at 90. I don't know what color 90 is. Okay, that's Linux, Firefox, OBS Scene. Oh, white. Some more whitey. You can't see a damn thing because this is way too bright for the cameras. Yeah, but it is white. Ta-da! Oh no, it's back to that scene. Yes. And it works like a charm. Now, what I want is some keycaps here that I can put, have like little caps on them so that you can put labels underneath them. I don't have the stuff, the material to actually make keycaps. Like they were talking about this on Adafruit where they actually were making it with UV little box where they triggered the material to harden and stuff like this. I don't have any of that. So, but there you go. So I hope this was kind of helpful and hope this video. Yeah, one thing I have to say, watch out. These OLED screens are extremely fragile. You can chip a corner, do everything. I just noticed that this was uneven on the board. So be very careful with those. That's probably why you want almost a shell around this and everything like that. But, yeah. Okay, I will let this video go out to the masses. Have fun, masses.